nice and shiny. There's been a lot of work done to the combine and the head since we've had it hooked up, so we're going to run it before we put it back on the cart just to be safe. It was brief yet magnificent because it's actually functioning. Something unusual happened last night that we've not seen in a long while. It rained 9/100ths of rain. Enough to have the draper belt wet, maybe settle the dust in the lot. Not enough from keeping us trying to cut some soybeans today. So that's what we're doing. We've hopefully got the big machine back here in action. Time to put her on the cart and head north. I think you're good here. Let me check the other side. I think you got it. You're good. You gotta back up. You gotta back up. What was wrong with it?
I don't know, it wouldn't move.
For some unknown reason, the combine would not back up. Could have been software, mechanical, operator, I don't know. I am calibrating the TCM right now, try to get it accurate. We've got an RTK dome on top, plan on using AutoPath for corn, and then we are going to run machine sync, which was installed yesterday. Believe it or not, my dad, the anti-tech guy, is the one that wants to run the machine sync. This was his idea. I've got no problem operating the grain cart old school, or at least just using a simple AB auto steer line. Everyone else is doing it. Advanced TCM calibration is complete. I'm going to set up one of these screens for AutoPath, or actually machine sync. Get the cart turned around and pulled up here. We can set the home point. That'll get us close enough, and then we just do some nudging in the fields. There's what I wanted. X9, I gotta type in the password. Password entered. Here we go. I'm trying to get it centered up. This will be where it squares every time it comes to unload. That's pretty close. Then we go over here to the monitor, set home point set. It's concerning me that it thinks the grain cart is headed south when it's actually pointed north. I don't know if that's gonna affect us or not. Time to go try some beans. They should almost be up to the field. I stopped by home to check in with my wife. We're expecting a baby any day or moment now. She had a contraction this morning, so she could go into labor at any point in time. I wanted to see how things were before I committed myself to a couple hours of work in the grain cart. I'm not chained to this machine by any means. If she goes into labor, I'm going to the hospital. Someone else can run this, or they can just dump straight into the trucks. I missed the fun part. Darn it. Is it me, or does the reel look a little out of phase? The wing is way down, the center's up. Did you open the valve on the side of the head, Dad? It looks sideways from here. Predictable. Dad did not have the head set right. There's valves you have to flip to allow it to hinge after being on the trailer. We have a secondary issue going on that the chopper will not go into high speed. We're trying to put it into the high speed gear setting, and it's just kicking out. We're playing with it, trying to turn the machine on and off to jam it into gear, Nothing seems to work. Eventually, we just give up on it and run it in first gear. Dad was also having some problems getting the knives to engage in the bank. He got that figured out, and he did get the right side of the draper right, so he's batting 50%. We are in action. Dragging up on the left side. Why? I don't know. Your tilt. What's your tilt set to?
Drag it up, Andy.
The boss and I got into a lovely bickering match over how to set this head to keep it from dragging up. I suggested recalibrating, which is a reasonable response. Of course, we go to do so, and I noticed that we have a blown hydraulic line somewhere on the center reel. Right now, we're just trying to locate where the hole is. Dad's a big fan of tracing his finger down the line till he finds the pressurized cone of hot hydraulic oil, which I believe almost every safety manual tells you not to do. That's how he locates the source. We wiggle around till we find where it's coming from. It's sort of hilarious how you have problems with the combine, it's in town for a few days getting worked on, then you finally get to the field with the draper, cut literally 1/10 of an acre, have all sorts of issues with it dragging up, probably operator error to be honest, and then you blow a hydraulic line. I find this part hilarious in hindsight since Dad didn't get hurt. He's notorious for having bad hand signals. I thought he was telling me to extend the reel, so I went to extend it. Nope, blasted him in the face with hydraulic oil. He actually wanted me to shut the combine off. That's on both of us, probably mostly on me for not understanding him.
Where did it go? All the way to the end?
There's a bunch of connectors in here. Depends on which wire it is.
It's not a wire.
You knew what I meant.
You'll need to take this off and then undo the lock nut. And that's probably something that won't have.
We made it 1/10 of an acre into harvest on this field before we hit a breakdown. The hose that's blown, I think is controlling the fore and aft on the reel. It's this one right here. Of course, it gets tucked under the frame, runs all the way through here. This one, you can see, do the old shake test, pulls through. I just pulled it loose, but it comes through here and then fastens into this bracket with a lock nut on it and then attaches to this hose. Dad is going to get a wire from Bruce and Wes, our Pioneer dealers. They're just right around the road. It's typically better if you can snake these through or put something in place to pull the new hose with some kind of guide. If you just have to blindly push it in there, you may not have much luck. That's also what she said, I guess, but we're gonna get this running. Katie should be on the way with the other combine. We were so flustered trying to stop this head from dragging. I don't know what's wrong, if it's related to this or calibration issue, that I didn't even see what the beans were making or if they were even dry. I believe they're dry, just guesstimating. I don't know for sure. It'd be hard for them not to be dry looking at them. If they don't have this fitting, Dad, you could always have them cut the end off and somehow splice two of them together and keep that fitting. That makes any sense.
Where is it?
It's right there. I didn't want to take it out. Are you holding on to it? Man, this is going to be hard.
Wait now. Now go. If we're wired long enough, Wes.
Might have to pull it the other way just to avoid that right angle.
You gonna go the other way then?
It might be easier. Might.
Okay, grab the hose and don't let me pull it out.
There's plenty of slack in it. Plenty of slack. So I got another 6 foot. Dad ran into Sloan's to either patch that line or get an entire new line depending on what fittings they have. Old Faithful arrives courtesy of Katie. It's amazing how the newer stuff is almost always in a state of breakdown, yet the good old tried and true machines, although not as efficient when they're running as the big dogs, still just constantly chew away. Yeah, that could have a major breakdown at any point in time, just seems less likely. I thought this head would be pretty problem free. Here we are, a millisecond into harvest, and that's not been the case.
It says 13.7.
They tested 13.7?
13.7.
I believe it. If anything, they're drier than that.
But that's about right. They're just gonna keep getting drier as the day goes.
Immediately just gnawing away. Funny how that works. Farms are typically packed with a lot of different valuables, whether it be your equipment, your livestock, your tools. There's a lot here to protect. Locally, there has been an uptick in thefts, pickup trucks, tools, all that stuff being stolen. So we're considering some options for security cameras. One great option is the Anona Aurora. It is a 4K ultra high definition 24/7 camera powered by a battery or directly plugged in with a solar power feature as well. The Aurora is designed to run during power outages or long cloudy days. Storms, rain, dust, or strong winds also happen to be a strong point of the Aurora's design. It was specifically engineered to capture sharp, detailed footage even during these challenging times for recording. Farmers can remotely access their camera after the storm for the peace of mind to see if there's any damage to fences, crops, livestock, bins, barns, equipment, all of that stuff. The cameras all integrate into their app with 24/7 access, AI smart detection to see people or animals, so you can tell if there's someone on your property at night or if there's an animal somewhere it shouldn't be. Many different features to streamline the security and observation of your property. If any of you are in the market for a wireless solar-powered camera, I would recommend checking out the Anona Aurora. I've had a pleasant experience here on our farm with it so far. Hopefully we never need to see any security footage. Head over to their website and use code TrippyFarmer10 for 10% off, or follow any of the links on the video. Thanks to Anona for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to the action. Wes came down the road to check his moisture tester. You heard him say 13.7%. I'll see what Katie's seeing. What's the moisture looking like, Katie?
Like 11.8 to 12.6.
Well, we're too late then. Katie's combine was spot on the previous field. She's not cut very much so far. The outside average is 79, 12% moisture. I think these will be better than the other field. There's also a lot of acres to go. This is 110 roughly acres, so it could go down quite a bit if we get into a gnarly spot. We're about to try our first unload with machine sync. Katie's right there, 75% full hopper. Here is her Wi-Fi signal because machine sync is all Wi-Fi based. They've added extra antennas to the tractor and the combines to make it more accurate. Once we get in range, I think I resume the auto steer and it pulls me in. We may keep a very close hand to the steering wheel here to make sure there's no disasters. All right, Katie, we've got this machine sync, so we'll see how it works. On your screen, you've got some arrows, and the cart should match your speed, so to move me, you move the arrows, not your hydrostat.
Is machine sync not ready?
Is the auto track on? It should be ready when I get there. I think I turn it on. Yep, did it just go ready?
Yep. Pull back on the hydrostat, you will stop.
I will match your speed, but you move me with the arrows on your screen. I'm not controlling speed at all right here. It's got to be 3.5. That might be where Katie has me set. I don't know what you're doing, but you can't bump me around that much.
I sent you one forward, and then when you got caught up, I bumped you two back just to see. Not sure what's going on.
You're bumping me. You're also slowing down. It's matching your speed. some learning pains.
But I've set that to where the spout was coming down in the middle too, because like right now I feel like I'm too to the east.
I don't have auto steer on, so you're in charge. You can move me and reset me. Just bump the arrows to where you want me. I do not know what the measurement is. When you're adjusting me, I don't know what one click is. I don't know if it's inches, if it's 1 foot.
Hit you twice.
This seems very complicated for something that we're paying for. Dad's back with parts. We had our test run on the machine sync with Katie. It'll get figured out. New technology is always hard. They didn't have the fitting we need, and we were kind of concerned about that, so they just spliced our hose. We have this one going. Dad said they ordered it. Get it back in, hopefully cut without issue. I find that unlikely that there won't be any more issues today. One can dream.
Wait a minute, that go like that? Oh, I didn't get a wire tie.
I got a bunch in my truck. Well, my truck just...
Ah, I got nothing. Go ahead. Whoa. Okay, which way did that come from? Come right down through along that, didn't it?
I'd probably put it behind that cylinder.
Then I'll try it.
I thought something.
Probably coming out of that hole.
Pull this one this way. Open that up. Now, it's right there. I think you're too low. We got it through right after the camera died. Always happens that way. Keep that for
Yeah, when
next
we replace it.
duty calls. Head's mostly back together. Probably need to recalibrate. Second time's a charm. The most important rule for this, and I ought to convey this to my dad, if you have an issue, slowing down the hydrostat also slows down the cart, and you need to shut the auger off if something is going wrong, because the auger is not on any kind of automatic control system. It will just keep dumping. This Hallmaster cart is hooked up through the ISO. I believe it can convey cart data, weight specifically, to the combine. We just don't have that set up. Katie's got her hand up there on the screen. She's moving me around. The newer combine hydrostat has buttons on the back that can move it forward and backwards. This'll do. Soybeans are running 80 on Katie's monitor so far. It's a good start. That combine was dialed in on the last field. It came out perfect on the field average, surprisingly.
Why isn't that going in and out?
Could have air on the line.
I shouldn't have anything else.
There's bleed valves right there.
Time to go to the bathroom.
Can you work air out of the line just by cycling it?
Yeah.
Cutting better already.
Yeah, the hose is wrong.
Could have if they were all pulling out of the same valve body. 98.3. Is that your new station? About to line up and try the machine sync with Dad and the bigger combine. He's the less tech savvy one, so we will see how this goes. I'm in the engagement zone right now. Man, we gotta get close to that bed. We're at the home point. That is unloading. He's speeding up and slowing down, which is what you don't do with machine sync because it just whips me back and forth. The beeping is him bumping me around. I can adjust on my screen too, but it's better for the combine operator to do it. I can't see what they see. Believe it or not, that went better with Dad than it did with Katie. He's also a little more up to speed with the upgrades we have going on since he's the one who authorized them and talks to a lot of the AMS guys at Sloan's. Despite all of our frustrations with some of the newer equipment in our fleet and the questionable reliability, when this thing is running, it just chews through the beans. It's matching your speed. I don't know what you're doing. Dad's in there still trying to move the hydrostat to move me. This marks about 2.5 hours of cutting beans without any issues, knock on wood or something technological. When both combines are running flawlessly, we devour a bean field. It's pretty impressive to watch.
You about back here,
the
Nate?
breakdowns that really slow you down, which is
I'm on
fairly
Lake
obvious.
Road, Scottsdale Hill Church.
I've already discovered one setting here in the menu for the machine sync that was giving me problems because of how I like to operate. When you just run machine sync, it disables your true auto steer, so your straight lines through the field, which I would normally use an A and a B, or I'll just pull their harvest line to have a straight line to use. It wasn't letting me do that because machine sync takes over and does not allow. If you go into the settings here, you can find a tab called Control Traffic Mode. Hit that on. I believe what this will do is let me pull their harvest line, which is H. This brings the auto steer system online until you get in the control box of a combine. So here is Katie in the S670. When I get in that box, this right here supersedes any of these lines in the field. I like the lines because I want to stay in one path if I can. Prior to finding this setting, I was getting kind of upset. I'd have to hand steer from end to end and get a little wonky sometimes. I prefer, when I'm not under a combine, to auto steer the same line so I don't pack down a million different corners of the field. I want to stay as concise and controlled as possible. That makes me sound way more perfect than I actually am. I mean, I do drive random places all the time. This setting improves my opinion of it already because I was frustrated that I had to manually steer when I wasn't in the, whatever it's called, the machine sync. So here comes Katie. It's my first time trying it in controlled traffic mode. We're connected to her combine, the S670. I don't know what's going to happen here. Now let's pull in the line.
Stay up here and give me a ride back to his pickup so he can go get the kids. Okay, I knew that.
Okay, well that did not work the way I thought it would. Either I don't completely understand how the control traffic mode works, or it does not do what I was intending. It was still trying to follow the auto steer line, and the machine sync was not superseding. These beans are not going in a bin on our farm, so we're working on elevator hours right now, commercial storage. They are still closing early because we are maybe the only farmer around harvesting, for better or worse. No one in this area is fired up yet. Until 50% of the combines in the countryside are rolling, they don't work any longer than their normal hours. Instead of hauling to Primient right up the road to the north, we are having to go to TGM in Neoga. That's about 15 miles out of our way. Primient here, formerly Tate Mile a few years ago at Cole Station, had a fire on one of their grain legs. They didn't know what the status was going to be. It came out last week that unless you had contracted grain to them, they were not taking anything. The convenient location up the road that we always haul to in this area is closed for the season. Unless you've got dry contracted corn, they will pile that on the ground once it gets to 15 or 16%. Bad news for all the farmers around and the elevator. According to what the combines have cut so far in terms of acres, what I've weighed across the cart, these beans are running right over 76 bushels an acre. I thought these would beat the ones we harvested 2 days ago. I guess I was wrong. Okay everyone, you all may notice that there's a little bit of a gap from when we last checked in to today. There's a change in scenery. The grain cart is not where we left it. That is entirely because of the good news. My wife and I are very fortunate to have welcomed into the world a healthy baby boy, Harrison William Dole, on Friday, September 5th at 9:21 in the morning. We had to get up at 3 o'clock. She'd been up for a few hours, already kind of starting the contractions, the labor process. He was born 6 hours after we got to the hospital. No complaints. Everyone's happy, mom and baby. Everything is great. And I'm very grateful for that event for us all. There's no way to know for certain when a natural childbirth is going to occur. I didn't know if it was going to be a week ago or a week from today. It ended up being on Friday, a couple days ago. Everything went smoothly. I did happen to miss the end of harvesting that last field of soybeans. It is really nice working with family on the farm because there's no hard feelings. We knew this was coming, and at the end of the day, getting a baby out and making sure everyone is taken care of is priority number one. the show can go on without me. Katie, Dad, Chris, and Jeff finished up harvesting that field that morning while the baby was coming out. I believe, and I'm not exactly sure, that March planted field of Pioneer 31Z03 enlist soybeans yielded right over 78 bushels per acre. So another strong showing for these March planted beans. And again, I believe that these are going to be some of our highest yielders of the year, because the rest of our beans are seemingly just starting to die. They're not even turning. They're going from green to brown pretty quickly. On top of that, we have what I believe is a massive chunk of soybeans ready to harvest within the next couple of days. I hope I get some good sleep, because we are going to be running the wheels off of stuff, trying to get these out of the field. No rain in the forecast, literally for at least 10 days. You're going to have to cut them as soon as you can, or they will be 7% beans. That's even worse than not getting any rain, is losing all your moisture on top of it. Katie was kind enough to actually do some filming for me on her phone. She's an amateur, so forgive any shakiness here. We're not all professional videographers. They finished up the soybean field and then proceeded to get a corn head hooked up, because we needed to pick off a corner of a field that was blocking a shed that has our bin loading augers in them. With the corn getting dry, we needed to be able to get these augers out. Yes, we could have ran the corn over, but you sleep a little bit better at night knowing that you harvested the corn as opposed to just ran it over to get your augers out. From what Dad said, this load at the elevator they end up picking was 18.5%, I believe. It was a measly amount of area harvested. The yield, I don't believe, was spectacular, right around 200 so far. We're on the ends. There's sprayer tracks. The dry weather typically hurts the ends of cornfields the worst, so could get better from here. They didn't harvest enough to get a strong taste of what's to come.
It's moisture.
What?
What's moisture? Am I supposed to ask you what you're doing?
Don't need to take a picture of that. Here, take a picture.
The whirlwind. I was doing a whirlwind video.
Stop.
Hopefully he mutes this conversation. Hi, Andy.
Bring it around.
He needs to. Oh, whoa, stop.
There was a much less significant package delivered on Friday too. These are the connectors, I believe, that integrate the AgCam feeds into the command center in the 8R tractor. Underneath the back panel, behind the cab, there are 4 connectors right here. There's 2 of them. They're just sitting on a plate. You can pull them off. I've got 2 down. I believe that I can plug these into there, and then the other side goes to the camera feed. That will put the camera into the cab without having to have an additional camera display. That's why I've not hooked these in yet. It did come with a nice display. I'd rather try the integrated route if I can, because it's less displays. I already reached the point where I've overcrowded some of these cabs. Now I'm trying to repent a little bit and simplify my life. Here are the camera leads. This was from Ag Express. They had a connector. I think they're about $75 a piece. That hooks up there, assuming they're both going to work. Just got to make sure they go into the plug on the back of the cab. Snapped in. That's a good sign. Whoever ran this is not aware of my new t-shirt rule. If you're going to leave it outside, cover the iPad with a t-shirt so it doesn't melt. These are my camera feeds, analog. I'm only picking up 1 and 2. Something's not right. In retrospect, it was outlandish for me, of all people, to believe that I was going to get the right connector out of the gate, plug it in, and it worked flawlessly in less than a couple of minutes. I may just bring the actual camera monitor that I've got in the shed into the tractor and set it up that way. I thought it'd be a lot nicer to have it on the John Deere Command Center display. I'll do some research, but I'm going to leave that quest alone for today. My wife's at home with the boys, exhausted. I think it would be a disservice of me to waste this Sunday afternoon out here messing with this. Should be with them. I don't believe that I have the appropriate seat time running the machine sync with the 8R and the 2 combines to really give you all a fair opinion on it. I'm mixed on it right now, but I think there is room for improvement as we continue into soybean harvest, both with me learning as the cart operator and, to be honest, the combine drivers figuring out how to move me around gently. That way it's smoother. There's a lot of growing pains. Was it necessary? Is it worth the money? Do you need it on your farm? A lot of question marks there, and I hope maybe at some point during this harvest I can give you my honest feedback. It wouldn't be fair to Deere and to you guys for me to spout something off about technology I've not run long enough to form an honest opinion. It is probably in my best interest and for the sake of my wife's sanity that I head home. Tomorrow I'm gonna have to come back and work full time because we're going to be finishing up auger prep. We may cut some beans. We may pick some corn. I don't really know. I've been out of the loop. I am very confident that the wheels are going to start turning very quickly here soon. So I'm going to enjoy the last of this Sunday with the family. And then tomorrow we'll have to commit back here on the farm as necessary. I appreciate you all tuning in. I sure hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day, everyone. Peace!